Hi, everybody. It's great to be here and to be in this audience and a great Postgres conference, so thank you to the organizers. My name is Sujata Mandava. I'm Director of Product Management in Google Cloud Databases. I lead two services here in Google Cloud Databases. It's Cloud SQL, which is a fully managed service on open source Postgres, open source MySQL, and SQL Server, and to my Microsoft colleagues. And then the second one is Gemini. You've heard the word Gemini. We do have a brand name for Gemini. So what I lead is an AI-assisted platform for managing and operating your databases. We know how that's a very crucial part of managing your databases, so those are the two services that I manage. And prior to Google, I've been here 3 years. Prior to that, I've been in online SaaS applications that were built all on open source databases. It's a privilege to be here, and I'm super humbled by all the Postgres expertise that's in this room. I'm still a learner, and I'm learning things on Postgres every day, but super excited to be here. So with that, let's get started. I was going to focus on observability and manageability because it's very top of mind for us as we are looking at databases and what customers are doing with the databases, how they're tuning their databases, how they're managing their databases. So that was the reason I picked this topic. I can't get this to work. I can do this. OK, so quick recap on Google Cloud Databases. With a raise of hands, how many of you used any Google Cloud databases? Cloud SQL, LOIDB, Spanner. Awesome. I do see that. I also see an opportunity for us to educate you guys on what's there in Google Cloud Databases. So as you can see, a rich portfolio of database services that we have, both in terms of the open source support as well as we have cloud native databases as well. So if you go from left to right, we support a number of data models. We support in-memory, relational, key value, document DB, as you can see from left to right. It's really important. Memory store is our managed service on top of open source Redis. Now open source Valkey, if you guys know that the licensing has actually changed on Redis. The other thing is Oracle. We just announced a partnership with Oracle. So do you have options to be able to host Oracle workloads on GCP, Cloud SQL, best target for lift and shift workloads, fully managed service on Postgres, MySQL, SQL Server. And then AlloyDB, which is, I'll talk about our Postgres portfolio, but that's essentially Google Cloud's Postgres version of the database, and we'll talk a few details there. Spanner is our always-on database. If you look at Spanner, Bigtable, and Firestore, what we call cloud-native databases. So Spanner is a relational. Bigtable is your low-latency key value database, and Firestore is our document DB. But two important things that I want you to note out of the portfolio is one, Gen AI vector search is extremely important for us. We know that customers are using this to transform experiences, improve productivity. So we support vector search in all of the engines that we have. It's a combination of KNN, ANN as well. And we support that in terms of Cloud SQL, for example, we support pgvector. And we have amazing adoption on pgvector, by the way. We're really super excited about it to engage it. So thank you to the community for the pgvector extension and constantly making improvements to it. On the LOIDB side, we actually use Scan, which is Google's innovative vector indexing algorithm. It is an open source, so the paper is available out there for you guys to check it out. But LOIDB and Spanner both support it. On Spanner, for us, we actually support, we call it multi-model. We support Graph, we support ANN, as well as we support full text search. So we call it the multi-model, not multimodal database. And Spanner is our kind of a leading product in the Google Cloud databases. So vector support across all. The other thing we do support is that these databases integrate with the Google ecosystem. That means it integrates with our Vertex AI platform that gives you access into all the models in the Vertex, as well as integrates with BQ, which is our analytical platform. So really, it's about these databases integrating with the ecosystem that's available in Google Cloud. I have to remember that I have to go to the laptop. So let's talk about Progress. We all love Postgres, just as Sujit said. We love it. And we think it's an amazing technology. We actually say that this is the technology that all enterprises are using to build innovative applications. So we have a rich set of services that are built on Postgres. And I'll talk about 3 of them. Cloud SQL, which is the fully managed service, best target for lift and shift workloads. There are 2 flavors of Cloud SQL, Enterprise and Enterprise Plus. Enterprise Plus gives you that better performance, better availability requirements that you have for your workloads. This supports, as I mentioned, for GenAI, pgvector, and it's been used a lot in terms of building applications. AlloyDB is our Postgres database, but it's a combination of Postgres compatibility with the best of Google. For example, using some of the Google technologies like disaggregated compute and storage that gives us that advantages of improving the performance for demanding workloads. So that's AlloyDB. But the other thing about AlloyDB is that we have a version of AlloyDB that can run anywhere, that can run on-premise, that can run in the other clouds, or it can run even on your laptop. So we do have a version, a disconnected version of AlloyDB that runs that syncs with the AlloyDB in the cloud, but you have a version that can be installed in there. Spanner is our always-on, globally consistent, distributed database, highly scalable. So this also has a Postgres interface and is being used by a number of customers for that specific feature, which is the Postgres interface at all. So as you can see, rich set of services that actually have that Postgres compatibility and are quite popular with our customers. So quick look, I think, on our Postgres contributions. I'm sure we could do more. We're continuously working on it. But to call out a few things, we have someone who works on CVEs, especially the CVE 2025, which essentially was a bug related to a zero-day attack. So that was a good contribution there. As you can see, we have also made some contributions to grant corruption issues. We also participate in code reviews. And finally, I think we hosted a Postgres meetup, which was well attended, and thank you for the support for doing it. And finally, for PG17, we participated in the beta testing to be able to find some issues that we could resolve before Postgres 17 went public. So just a quick view of some of the contributions we've made. So now I'll go to the main topic that I've been talking about, manageability, and I'll specifically talk about Database Center. So before I introduce Database Center, why did we want to create this product called Database Center, or the capabilities called Database Center? So what we found is that as customers are building applications to provide these rich set of experiences, they're not just sticking to one database service. They're using a database service that kind of satisfies what that application needs are. And so as customers are building their applications, they're using a diverse set of database engines for the developers are using it, which means that they have relational, they could have in-memory, they could have a key value, they could have a document DB. So these diverse set of database engines, and all of them have different behaviors, they have different APIs, managing them is an overhead. And of course, you want to make sure that security and governance is not a problem. The second thing is that DevOps is really accelerating the adoption of databases, which means what? They're empowering these developers to be able to manage their own database, to be able to spin up their own databases, and to be able to manage with low expertise, but not giving enough tools to be able to debug and troubleshoot their databases when they have performance issues. Then the last thing is, of course, the amount of data that's coming in. New technologies like 5G, IoT generate a lot of data, and it's really important to make sure that you're able to face these security threats that come with this data. So which is why, and then let's talk about what the current solutions are. So given those problems, what customers we've heard are using is either homegrown, so using Sheets, Excel, being able to write their own homegrown scripts, and getting visibility into the fleet, getting visibility into, say, the security issues. The second thing is either using specialized tools for tuning your database, tuning the performance of the database. Or thirdly, being able to use platform tools like APM vendors and others to be able to get end-to-end visibility into the performance of the application along with the database. So these all had their limitations in it. And in order to address some of those challenges, that's why we introduced a product called Database Center. It is your one-stop shop for managing, optimizing, and governing your database estate. It supports all database services in the Google Cloud portfolio. So as I talked about, the relational, the in-memory, the key value document DB are all supported in Database Center. And Database Center is also available at no cost to our customers, which means that as long as you have the database services, you have visibility into the fleet, and you have visibility into the recommendations. So let me dig a little deeper into it. What you get with Database Center, and you'll see on the screen, as it keeps rolling through is on the left side, you see the inventory. You see the inventory of all your instances, and it's normalized based on the service that it is in terms of showing you the instances. For example, you see LoyDB, you see Cloud SQL, you see Spanner in there. So all those instances are visible as an inventory view, and you get a consistent view across it. The second thing is we provide you recommendations. We have rules that we have defined in terms of giving you security recommendations, availability, if you have a policy that says every production application has to be HA enabled or high availability enabled, we're able to give you those recommendations to conform to the policies of your organization. So that includes security, availability, data protection, reliability, and many, many more. And then lastly, what we have is a chat experience that you can use on the Database Center. So it's an AI-based chat where you can use natural language to type in your queries. For example, I could say, show me all the instances that don't have backups enabled, because that's a policy in my organization, and you should be able to interact with it with natural language and get the responses right there on it. So as you can see, Database Center, an inventory view, you're getting recommendations to actually make sure that your fleet is up to compliance across all the services. And finally, you get an AI-assisted chat experience. And this is available, as I said, to all customers at no cost and is part of the managed service. So this is Ford, our customer, who uses a number of different services in our fleet and in our portfolio of databases. And they were able to leverage Database Center to be able to get visibility in those instances, also figure out the fleet health, and also review the recommendations and apply those recommendations to get to a better fleet health. We're super excited about that. So my next topic is observability and database insights. So why do we need database insights? Database insights essentially is a suite of capabilities that really empower everybody, DBAs, IT generalists, developers, to be able to optimize your database performance, optimize your query performance with all the insights that it's able to give you. So 4 different things that Database Insights provides. One is a faster time to troubleshoot the problems. What we provide is rich set of telemetry and near real-time telemetry that's provided as part of Database Insights. The second is visibility into the queries, visibility into the query plans as well as the query execution, where you can get visual representation of the query plans themselves. And third is we actually analyze the data, we correlate the performance metrics, and we give you recommendations. So performance recommendations like Index Advisor are provided as part of Database Insights. And then lastly, the same way that I talked about Database Center, having that natural language interface to be able to query the database, that's the same thing that's available on Database Insights as well. So 4 different things that I talked about. Let me drill down a little bit into it. So I talked about rich set of telemetry as well as visibility into the query plans and query executions. And that's exactly the screenshot that you're seeing on the right here, where you can actually look at the query plans. You can compare the query plans because we store 30 days worth of data. You can actually compare the query plans, look at where the anomalies are, and also be able to find those inefficiencies that happen. So really, you're talking about getting very fine-grained data into query status, being able to correlate those performance statistics, and getting all the query plan samples and query execution as part of the Database Insights product, and really helps you pinpoint the root cause of the problem really quickly. The next thing I wanted to talk about was how do we make that troubleshooting more efficient? We now give you visibility into wait events and wait event types. So as you're looking at diagnosing these performance issues, the wait events and query insights really helps you figure out if your database is waiting on disk I/O, it's waiting on locks, and also identifies the lock event types. So this is something that really helps you diagnose those performance bottlenecks and also helps you get to a smarter resource optimization that is there. So this is where you can see the wait event types. Below, you can see actually the list of the queries. And you can see they're sorted by the long-running queries. And with the long-running queries, what you will actually see is the actual wait event that it's blocked on, and also another column that says, what is that query that is blocked on? So you can easily now use that to diagnose, look at the query that's actually grabbed the lock, and figure out if it's a legitimate running query or if you want to take some action on it. So really getting to the root cause of the problem very quickly by visibility into this. The last one that I wanted to talk about was, being able to do that proactive detection. I talked about, kind of doing a manual troubleshooting, but what if, we were able to give you those proactive recommendations, and what we give you is a proactive recommendation for the index advisor that lets you tell you, where the indexes are missing on your tables, and it also will help you create that. So what we give along that is a create index command. It'll tell you the performance impact, potential performance impact with the creating of the index. Also, what we do is we now take that command and integrate into a product called Database Studio, which is also available to all customers, and we'll be able to push that command to the databases automatically from Database Studio so that you're not, worrying about what the SQL command is. With Database Studio, you should be able to write a natural language command and push that SQL. So essentially, we talked about 3 things: faster troubleshooting, where you get the visibility into the query plan samples, you get the richer telemetry. The second thing we talked about was being able to get to the root cause and look at the wait event and wait event types to find out what's blocking the performance. And then third is we give you the proactive recommendations to be able to see how to resolve the issue. So that's part of the Database Insights. So Database Insights is available as part of the managed service itself. Cloud SQL Enterprise has it, AlloyDB has it, Cloud SQL Enterprise Plus have it, with a little bit more into deeper telemetry and longer retention. And Database Center, as I mentioned, is available to all customers that gives the fleet level view. So with that, I think that's pretty much what I had. Any questions from the audience? I probably can take one, or no? Just one, okay. Any questions? All right.